Hello, and welcome to Real Estate Q&A with expert realtor Brian Hall, answering questions about buying and selling a home in Glendale, California and its neighboring areas.
Hi, this is Brian Hall. I'm a real estate agent here in Southern California. I'm here today answering questions that buyers most often have. More importantly, I'm answering the questions they should be asking. One of the questions I get quite a bit is, Brian, what's a probate sale? Well, a probate is a situation where the seller is actually, deceased. So the people who are selling the property are the heirs, usually an executor or an executrix. That's a great word, executrix. So in this situation, how does this affect the buyer? Well, first of all, there's no seller disclosure, so there's considerably fewer seller disclosures because naturally the seller's deceased. They can't make the disclosures. Also, the deposit, especially if there's court confirmation, this goes up from a typical 1 to 2% to 10% usually. And it's usually in the form of a cashier's check. So that's real money that you can't get your hands on while we're going through this process. The other way it's different is that there's much more inspection burden on the buyer because, again, the seller can't come clean about whatever changes or repairs they needed to or they did make to the house. The more important question, maybe what you should be asking, is how does this affect the buyer? How does this affect me? Well, in my experience, probate sales usually go out between 5 and 10% less in purchase price. So there's a tremendous savings on almost any home you buy in a probate. The savings is offset by the uncertainty we were talking about earlier about fewer disclosures, limited disclosures. There's also a process called court confirmation. That's where after we make the offer, after the heirs, the executor accepts the offer, we go to court. At that point, you can possibly be outbid by another buyer. In this environment, that's not happening as much as it was here in our current real estate market, but it's still a risk. So while there are many risks involved in a probate sale, there are tremendous rewards. You can basically pick up a house for 90% of its market value. That's good in almost any real estate market. Thank you very much for tuning in.
For more great Q&A videos with expert realtor Brian Hall, or to have Brian contact you directly to answer your questions, please visit us at realtorsglendaleca.com. That's realtorsglendaleca.com.